Please be seated. I want to thank everyone for coming out here today to be with us, and thank you all for your patience. I want to say good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to Cypress Village. My name is Ty Morgan, and I have the privilege of serving as the Executive Director here at Cypress Village. It is really an honor today to host today's press conference, and we are really grateful to the Governor's Office and the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, led by Michelle Branham, Secretary Michelle Branham, for choosing our community for this important announcement. At Cypress Village, we are home to almost 1,000 residents, individuals who have contributed so much to their families, their professions, and also to our country. Ensuring their safety and well-being is at the heart of everything we do here at Cypress Village. This is why today's initiative to combat senior fraud and scams is so meaningful to all of us. These crimes target some of our most vulnerable citizens and steal not just dollars, but peace of mind, confidence, and also independence. We are deeply appreciative to the state of Florida for taking this decisive action to strengthen protections, awareness, and put resources in place to keep seniors and everybody else and other citizens safe. We are deeply appreciative to both Secretary Brandham as well as Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. And with that, I would like to introduce our guest speaker and the Lieutenant Governor. He is a decorated U.S. Army Special Forces veteran whose life has been defined by service, both on the battlefield and also now across the state. He is a steadfast advocate for public safety, for veterans, and for the initiatives that protect and empower Florida citizens of all ages. His leadership reflects deep commitment, integrity, resilience to all the people he serves within the state. So with that, let's please join me in welcoming our Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins.
Well, what are we, good afternoon here, I think, right? Good Lord, it's been a day. It's been a long day. Good afternoon. It's great to be here today. I want to thank each of you for taking time out of your day to be here and share this moment with us. I do apologize for being a few minutes late here. We had an opportunity to attend a funeral today in Miami. We had a trooper who unfortunately lost his life. His life was taken by a criminal. And you know, protecting and preserving those who stand up for us, our men and women in law enforcement, is important. When people put their neck on the line to defend our way of life, we have to be there for them. So it was an honor and a privilege to be in Miami with Sheriff Rosie Cordero Stutz and to recognize Deputy Sheriff Devin Jaramillo and his family as he was put to rest. We have to stand for something. And in Florida, we stand to choose for what's right and for those people who put their neck on the line for who we are and what we do as a state. So it was a privilege to be there. I am Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. It is an honor to be here. Of course, we have my dear friend Michelle Branham, our Elder Affairs Secretary. We have Perogi, my new friend, and we have Ty, who you just met, and Miss Barbara. What was your last name? Miss Barbara. And of course, we are going to announce the launch of Operation Senior Shield. And it's an initiative comprised of a strike team and information tools to combat senior scams and fraud. But I want to tell you why that's important to me. And I think it's important to give you a little bit of a highlight of who I am and where I come from. I was born on a farm, the son of a failed farmer. I was adopted by my grandparents. We didn't have a whole lot. And growing up that way, I got to appreciate what we had. And it taught me an entirely new way to that was different than my generation. Because those ideas, those ideals, those principles that we were raised with, frankly, are the same one that many of you have been raised with. They're the things that made our nation what it is. And incumbent and chief among those are we protect those people in our family, in our community, those people at risk. We stand up for them. We defend them. And when people harm our people, we take offense to that, and we protect them. Today marks an important step as we move forward with Florida seniors. We are launching Operation Senior Shield. I want to be absolutely clear. It's not just another program. This is the continuation of a mission that I have been on for many years. I told you about where I came from, but I spent most of my adult life as a U.S. Army Green Beret. I had the opportunity to serve in multiple theaters, in combat. I did lose a leg. I was shot and did surgery on myself. I lost a leg and requalified as a Green Beret and served 5 years after. So protecting our people. Thank you. So protecting our people is not what I talk about, it's what I do. I have put my neck on the line for what we love and what we protect every day since I've been an adult, and that's going to continue. In my time in the Senate, I passed 55 bills over about 3 years. That's more than most people pass in a career. And why do I share that? Because if you're going to get dressed up and wear a suit and tie every day, you may as well get something done. I focused on economy, education, and safety and security in our community, and taking care of those who take care of us, our first responders, military, and veterans. This is not politics as normal. It is not business as normal. This is about protecting what we love. When I deployed abroad, I didn't go there because I wanted to pick a fight. I went there because I love my family. I love my community. I love my state and our nation. And we have to protect and stand up for those every day, every single day. So this was put together by Secretary Brandham. And she first briefed me on the sheer number of senior citizens losing thousands of dollars. I believe $32,000 is the average loss. Sometimes their entire savings. It hit me hard. You know, in the military, we don't sit back when you see people targeted. You move towards the problem. You take action. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. Our Florida seniors built this state. They built our communities. They built our families. They deserve protection, respect, and peace of mind. And we're committed to giving exactly that to them. I want you to know you are not alone. You are not isolated, and we do have your back. Hard stop, end of story. Senior Shield provides timely text and email alerts so older adults and caregivers can stay ahead of scammers. We're going to make you hard targets. You have to have the information to understand what's going on. When a new threat appears, Floridians will know about it before the scammers get to their door, their inbox, or their phone. That's how we keep you alert, keep you informed, and secure. Signing up is simple and takes less than a minute. Just visit opseniorshieldfl.com to start receiving alerts today. I encourage everyone, seniors, caregivers, and family members, to protect those in your family, to protect your loved ones. Keep them alert, keep them secure, and protect their savings. Again, that is opseniorshieldfl.com. But that's just the beginning. Today, we're also creating a statewide task force dedicated to fighting fraud against older Floridians. This group will bring together law enforcement, cybersecurity experts, community partners, and state leaders to share intelligence, raise awareness, and take this issue head on with urgency as demanded. We're approaching this the same way we would any coordinated threat, with strategy, teamwork, and relentless focus. We're also adding something innovative, something new. We're giving seniors the tools to fight back, backed by a statewide strike team that works around the clock to stop criminals before they strike. That team is myself, Secretary Branham, our law enforcement partners, and leading cybersecurity experts like our new friend Perogi, who specialize in protecting you. He has dedicated how many of your last years? 8, 10? Quite some time to just that. He has taken down hackers. We're going to work with them to find them, hold them accountable, and protect your money, your way of life, because somebody has to do that. In Florida, that's what we're going to do. All moving towards a problem of protecting our senior citizens. With guidance from ethical hackers and cybersecurity experts, seniors will walk through exact steps scammers use safely in a controlled environment. We're going to help you each step along the way so they can turn the tables. You'll learn how to see these schemes, understand them from the inside, see the red flags firsthand, and practice those techniques scammers use against you. It's not just education, it's empowerment. It's also a strike team to find them when they do wrong. It gives seniors confidence, it gives them control, and it gives them the ability to recognize a scam instantly and shut it down before it ever gains traction. And let me say this clearly. Florida is not a state of easy targets. Not on my watch, not while I still have a breath in my chest, and certainly not under Governor Ron DeSantis. We will have your back. Secretary Brandham, thank you for putting this together. Your dedication, your team's focus on protecting and preserving our way of life is obvious in everything you do. Thank you for assembling this. Thank you for putting this together. But more importantly, thank you for the vision and resolve to bring this through to finalize and get it out here to protect our people. You know, she listens to stories from people who lost everything over and over and over every day. These practical solutions are hers, but it's because she has worked day and night. So when you get a chance, make sure you talk to Secretary Branham, because she is the real star here who put this together. Her work is the reason we're launching this initiative today. As always, I've got to thank Governor Ron DeSantis. His vision, his focus, and his trust in us to hold people accountable, to protect our senior citizens and our way of life is impeccable. Leadership like that matters, and I'm so grateful to have a governor with the courage to do the hard right no matter the cost. But here's the part where you have to opt in. We need you to join us. Again, sign up at opseniorshieldfl.com. Share it with your family, your neighbors, and church groups. The more people who are informed, the fewer opportunities scammers have to take advantage of anyone in this state. Together, we're going to stand for our seniors, strengthen our defenses, and build a state where scammers think twice before trying to prey on the people we love. Now, I'm going to bring up a few other speakers in time here. I've waxed philosophically about Secretary Branham for a little bit here. So without any more of that, I'm going to say thank you for what you've done. And Secretary Branham, would you please like to join me on stage?
I'm a little choked up. Honestly, listening to our Lieutenant Governor was like a dream come true. I became secretary 4 years ago. I want to thank Governor Ron DeSantis for the opportunity to serve into the greatest calling of my career to do that. And for 4 years, this has been on my mind. So I just want to thank him. Thank you so much, sir, for your leadership, for your unwavering commitment to protecting Florida seniors. It means so much to have champions at this level supporting what we do. It's so critical. And of course, all of you know how urgent it is. And he's right. I hear stories every day, seniors losing their hard-earned savings, sometimes their life's work, to scams. Families are frustrated, communities are shaken, and the emotional toll is devastating. And no matter where I go, whether it's at a senior center or a community meeting or just literally in a grocery line, I hear the same types of stories. Someone picking up a phone call about a supposed credit card alert fraud, or an email that's just convincing enough about supposed jury duty, or a text that created just enough panic and urgency from a supposed bank to make someone respond or click a link. We all know this, right? And it's not just seniors. I got a call yesterday from my niece. This happened and she called me hysterically crying. So I mean, it's happening to all of us. It's heartbreaking, and it hits especially close to home for me. A loved one of mine was scammed not long ago, and I saw firsthand how frustrated and stressed out, the fear, the humiliation, and the frustration, all of that that comes with getting scammed. So not only are our loved ones getting scammed out of their money, but these cyber predators are also leaving our cherished Floridians feeling ashamed, duped, even embarrassed. Nobody should feel ashamed for being preyed upon. These scammers are sophisticated and they're determined, but look who you just heard from, right? So I'm feeling pretty hopeful now. I'm on our side. That experience with my loved one changed the way that I work, and it's how I see my work. It made me more determined, it made me more passionate, and frankly, it made me more protective. Our seniors, us, we deserve better than this. We deserve to feel safe, supported, and armed with the information we need to recognize a scam before it ever reaches us. That's why your program, sir, Operation Senior Shield, is so critical, and I'm so incredibly grateful to be with all of you today to launch it. Education and awareness matter. Community and family conversations matter. When seniors know what to look for, when they feel empowered, they not only help themselves and their families, but other seniors in their lives. And that ripple effect is so powerful. We know that. People will begin to hang up the phone more easily, dismiss the call, which is going to be really hard for my stepdad. He loves to answer the calls. Pause before clicking, delete the emails, et cetera, et cetera. So today I just want to ask every Floridian to take one simple step. Talk to the seniors in your life. Talk to your adult children. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. Ask people, what are you encountering with the scams? Sit down, look at your phones together, look at your computers together. Share what you learn. These conversations, they don't just prevent scams, they strengthen our relationships together and restore confidence. And they mitigate that impact, that stigma of feeling embarrassed or humiliated or ashamed. I want to thank Governor DeSantis for his steadfast and constant support of our seniors here in Florida. I want to thank our partners across the state, our wonderful law enforcement, our community organizations, our local leaders, Perogi, our new friend Perogi, who's taught me so much, our families and friends, and all those who are committed to protecting our seniors. Most especially, I want to thank my friend, Lieutenant Governor Collins, for taking a chance and heading up this critical initiative. Thank you so much, sir. Under the leadership of Lieutenant Governor Collins, Florida is sending a clear and united message. Our seniors are not alone, and we are not easy targets. We've created a shield that not only protects us and our seniors, but honors our seniors as the backbone and collective wisdom of all of our communities. Thank you so much.
So, great job, Michelle, as always. And, you know, I had an opportunity to talk to our new friend Perogi about how he does this, how he's dedicated his life to protecting our senior citizens, and put this together because he saw a vulnerability that, frankly, nobody else was working to solve. That's just not acceptable. And when I talked to Michelle, and frankly, I heard from friends and families in my community, people we work with, who frankly had been scammed out of money. It happens just like that, and everything's gone. It's heartbreaking. You know, growing up in a community adopted by my grandparents, I saw that. I saw them deal with this at the early stages. And at the end stage of my own mom's life, we dealt with this with her. And we can't let that happen. And I'm so proud to have met with you and hear about your vision and your service and your dedication to protecting those who need a helping hand. It matters. Thank you for that dedicated service, Perogi, and I would like you to come up here and tell people about what you do, if that's all right. Sir.
It's really interesting because you would think that I'm like this great public speaker because I make YouTube videos, but this is such a different animal for me. So I'm super excited to be here today. And you guys give me so much energy to be here because I know our seniors are a very feisty bunch. And I deal with people that have been scammed. If you don't know what I do, I have a YouTube channel called Scammer Payback. And I go by Perogi. That's not my real name. It is a pseudonym because I have criminals that don't like me very much. Now, I've been tasked with trying to protect our most vulnerable in society. And what that means is people that are more susceptible to be scammed by these tricksters overseas. And 99% of the guys and gals that we go after, we expose them, and they pretend to be the likes of Microsoft, PayPal, Amazon, these big tech companies, right? And you get the text message, you get the email, there's been a charge on your account, just like Secretary Brandham had said, or Lieutenant Governor Collins has said. And thank you, by the way, for having me here. I didn't say thank you, but thank you. And what I do is I actually change my voice, and I talk like a grandma, or like a grandpa. Like, I change my voice and have these voice changers. And I bring these scammers into my world. So I have fake computers and fake bank accounts, and I get on the phone with these guys, and they connect into my world. And then we hack their computer. That actually empowered me a lot that y'all clap for that, because I didn't know what people would say. But, you know, the thing is when I started this about 7 years ago, I started by just calling these guys up and pranking them. So I'd get their phone number and call them up and just say silly things. And I ran across a lady in California. Her name was Susan. And she had lost $35,000. She had no money. She had nothing. And it changed my entire reality, because it brought the gravity of the situation. People are losing everything. The victims of these scams, these internet scams, these crimes, you know, there's an embarrassment behind it. They feel ashamed. How could I be duped? How could I, you know, believe somebody? How could I let someone on my computer? How could I go to the bank and take out all my money? Like, these are real things that are happening every single day. So I took it upon myself, and I think Lieutenant Governor Collins, he said, like, to kind of, I'm paraphrasing, but to fight back. And somebody has to step up and fight back. No matter what the outcome is, you got to fight back. And when I saw Susan, I talked with her. I flew out to California, met with her, and I said, I got to do something about this, so I got to change the game. So again, we started hacking these guys and exposing them, finding their locations, and it's led to tens of millions of people's bank accounts being saved. Tens of millions, I promise you. I've seen $1 million wire transfers. My church just got scammed yesterday. They called me up. They sent $1 million, so we're working on that currently with the FBI. But the thing is like, it's all fun to make YouTube videos, but to go to a bank and stop somebody from losing everything that they had, or to stop a wire transfer after it's been sent, or to have somebody come up to me at the airport and say, hey, I watch your videos, and my mother now, she's 90 years old, and she understands what to look for. That's really what we want to be able to do, is provide education and awareness, and that's something that I really have been like begging for across the board, from a government standpoint, from a technology standpoint, from a banking standpoint. Like, there's some responsibility that we have to take here. And it's not just fighting back and not just doing awareness, but, you know, really, I want to get you all involved so that you're empowered. And, you know, one of the things that we were able to do was we were able to uncover a $75 million crime ring just here in the United States. The Department of Justice just released a couple of months ago. And not with a beautiful press conference like this. I'm like, where is that press conference at? I'm like, goodness, all the beautiful cameras and everything. But we were able to uncover this. This took many years. And there are criminals here in the United States driving around and going to senior centers and going to homes and collecting like gold bars and collecting $50,000. Like, you think it's a fairy tale, but it happens every day. And these scammers are not going for a couple of gift cards. They're not trying to take a couple $100 from you. They want everything. And again, I've been tasked with fighting against these folks. And one of the things that we want to do to empower you all, at the end of the day, obviously watch our videos. I think they're very fun and exciting. We call these scammers overseas and mess with them, get on their computers, show their faces. They like to yell at me and stuff like that, so it's very fun. But on top of that, one of the things we want to do from an empowerment standpoint is we want to put you in the driver's seat. So on top of making content and things like that, that I want to give you all so that you can understand what the latest scams are and things like that, we want to try to come back here and give you the same environment that I deal with the computers. And don't be afraid of it, I promise, it's very fun. We've done this before with folks where they pretend to be a victim and they bring the scammers in, and you get to fight back at these guys. So if you've ever wanted to fight back, Soon will be the time, yeah. So that'll be at some point. If we can come back here, we'd love to do that. So I'm kind of putting that on everybody here. So that was an idea as I was sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, we should actually do that. So we do like a big event. It's called the People's Call Center. We do that every single year where we bring people together and fight against scammers. So I'd love the opportunity to do that with you all, and I think it'll be a very empowering thing to take the fight back against these criminals because they're tricksters. They don't care about us. They're overseas. They think that we have all the money in the world and we can withstand losing $800,000 or $1 million and just, water off a duck's back kind of thing. So I'm just honored to be here. I'm a blue-haired computer hacker guy. That's why I put the hat on. I was trying to be very respectful. Like, who's this guy with the blue hair and does YouTube videos? But no, my heart behind what we do, and there's a lot of people in the space that hack these scammers and go after them. Our heart really is you all. We want to protect you all. It's great to make money and videos and all those things, but to actually go and stop a scam from ruining somebody's life, ending somebody's life, the stress behind it, it is so life-changing and empowering. So if you have any questions, you can always come up to me and ask. I won't bore you with all the details. We got really fun videos to watch, but be on the lookout. There will be some information for me in the future, PSAs, things like that, what to look out for the different scams. And these guys are little punks. So like, if you ever do pick up for whatever reason, just tell them a piece of your mind and hang up because they're not going to do they're not going to come after you or anything like that. So just be safe out there. We'll be giving you information on what to look out for, and then we'll look towards having that big event of bringing everybody together. So I'm actually really excited. I feel like I could talk a lot longer, but I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here. This means so much to me in my heart. I've been begging for a state government to step up, and I just can't thank you enough, Lieutenant Governor and Secretary Brandham. Thank you so much for stepping up and having the gumption to do something. So thank you.
All right, so we're grateful to have Perogi. He has skill sets and talents that we don't have, that I don't have, that Michelle doesn't have. And people who protect come in all sizes, shapes, and forms, and we are so grateful to have him here helping protect you. Last person up in this order is Resident Advisory Council President Barbara Ponatiowski. Did we get it right? We're close? All right, we're within the syllables. So Barbara, thank you. I know you have some stories to share, so thank you for joining us.
We do. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Okay, I'll put my reading glasses on so I can actually see this stuff. Okay, anyway, good afternoon and thank you all for coming. My name is Barbara Poniatowski. Most of you know me, I think, and I'm the president of the Residents Advisory Council here. And today I have the privilege of representing our community and speaking on behalf of the residents who have entrusted me with this role. Today I'm sharing two statements from residents here who have been victimized. And so these are true stories. These stories are not easy to tell from these residents' point of view. For many who have experienced this kind of manipulation, it's very painful. It's an embarrassment to them sometimes. And they have the feeling that they should have known better. And we probably have all had that some type of experience where we should have known better. But, or sometimes they think it reflects upon their intelligence or their independence because they got scammed. It doesn't, it really doesn't. All of us are very vulnerable to being scammed. These scammers, they're trained to deceive you. They know exactly what to say and exactly how to intimidate you. The residents who shared these accounts were brave enough to let these stories be heard. Even if they're too uncomfortable to come up here and share the stories themselves, they want somebody else to share them with you so that you get an idea of what has actually happened to them. They chose to come forward so they can help to protect you and to try to make sure no one else gets scammed that way, or that you're not ashamed if you do get scammed and that you go to the correct people to help you with that. So on behalf of these residents and with their permission, I'm going to read their statements. Okay. The first resident says, A few months ago, I got a phone call from someone posing as my bank. How many of you have had something like that happen? They wanted to confirm my account number to resolve the issue. They already had some of my personal details, so I believed them. They told me people had opened accounts in my name at 7 different banks and credit unions, and that it looked like money laundering, which was a felony. They said I could go to prison unless I cooperated. My husband had been a banker, so their story sounded very plausible to me. There came a point when I realized that these were really bad people, that they were not from the bank, but once I got involved with them, they didn't stop harassing me. That was the scary part. I didn't know if they were watching me, if they had me under surveillance. They told me not to tell anyone, not to answer other calls, or I would be in trouble. I don't know what they meant by that, but in my mind, I filled in the blanks for that. I listened because it made it sound like my safety was very dependent upon it. That's what made me go along with buying gift cards and reading them the numbers. I lost a couple $1,000 by the end of it. Then they wanted me to deposit money in a Bitcoin machine. I didn't even know where one was, so I started asking around. This happened at Cypress, okay? Those who heard me inquiring had a funny feeling and asked the security manager to check on me. When he asked me what was going on, I lied to him at first. I was still so terrified. I didn't know if someone had a gun pointed at me when I left the house or what. I didn't know what to expect since they had sworn me to secrecy. But our security manager handled it beautifully. He was so kind and so gracious. He had to break through a lot of my fear. I finally told him what was going on. People want me to empty my bank account. I'm scared. And he said, we're going to fix this, so you don't have to be. We reported it to JSO. I was falling apart at the seams, and he helped me through this without making me feel demeaned. It was a mortifying experience. By the end, I felt humiliated. It messed with my head. I lost confidence in myself. I know what I'm doing in most situations and truly believe I was one of the last people who would fall for something like this. But they knew exactly what to say to scare me. It was a devastating blow. Nobody thinks it will happen to them, but it can, and it does. That was the first resident who shared their experiences. The second one, as Floridians, we're no strangers to planning and preparing for violent storms and hurricanes. I believe our current and disastrous threat is that of scamming. The question is not, are you aware of scams? The question is, what is your plan when you are faced with a scammer? Do you know what to look for? What red flags will start to make you feel uneasy? Are you under pressure to act now? Do they try to pressure you? Are you being asked for money? We often don't think being scammed could happen to us, but it happened to me. A very sophisticated scammer convinced me to leave my apartment, go to my local bank, and withdraw $50,000. Here is my story. I was alerted that there was a difficult problem with my specific account. After many attempts, I called the help number that they had listed. A very sympathetic person answered and assured me that I was one of the many with the same problem. In fact, there were so many with my issue that they had alerted outside agencies, these are the scammers saying this, to help find the scammer. The irony of that should be evident. The agencies mentioned were all legitimate agencies, including the sheriff's name and number and the Washington Bureau's name and number. I was told the scammer was going for all my bank accounts, and my only protection was to withdraw all my money and put it in a safe account. No dollar amount was mentioned originally. His main concern was to help me to avoid all of this. He asked how far away my bank was. When I said 15 minutes, he said he would stay on the line with me the whole time. He talked to me on the way to the bank. Once I arrived, he mentioned the amount. I went inside and wrote the check. The bank immediately balked. The banker asked me, why so large a check? Oddly, I felt loyalty to this person on the phone. So I lied and said that I needed it to go on a cruise. My banker friend raised some questions and asked me if we could talk. While this was going on, I went outside to my car, and shortly she followed me out. The banker followed me out and said, I want you to know this is what I would do for my mother. She asked me to hand her my checkbook, which I did, and she went to the branch manager. The scammer disappeared from the line, and I called my stunned son. The banker, the branch manager, my son, and I started the long process of contacting credit bureaus and others. This whole ordeal started in the morning, and by the end of the ordeal, it was late afternoon. I decided I wasn't going home until I had a burger and a beer. That was cute. So I walked across the street to Outback Steakhouse and asked for a quiet place. I sat down with my yellow legal pad. My son was still on the phone with me. I finished, and I was ready to go, and I asked for a check. The waiter said, ma'am, you don't owe me anything. Somebody has paid your bill. It reminded me that although there is a real evil in the world, there is still plenty of good. Today, we want to honor that good. The bank teller, Joy Byers, if you'll stand, and the branch manager. The branch manager is Alan Zotromirski. Also, if Scott Marquette is in the audience, would he please stand? Because he was part of that group that helped this resident. So thank you to Lieutenant Governor Collins, Secretary Brandham, Perogi, and to our everyday heroes who continue to advocate for senior scam prevention and for the safety of our community. Thank you.
Barbara, thank you for your words. You know, how many of you have dealt with a scam similar to that right now? Just a show of hands. I have. It happens. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You've done nothing wrong. When people try to take advantage of you, it's wrong, it's evil, but we as a state will not stand idly by. We are going to do everything we can to help you, but the first part of that is making sure you help protect yourself. Let's get you the information, and together, we'll keep your money where it is. That is great advice. That is very sage for whoever that was, the burgers and beer. I think that's a great way to end almost any day. But you know, I want you to know that we have your back. You deserve to live in peace and dignity and be free of these threats, and we're going to make sure and do all we can to make that happen. I want to thank each of you for being here. Thank you for all you've done. And for those of you who did the right thing, the branch managers, the bank tellers, thank you. Thank you for caring and standing up for our people. Round of applause, please. God bless each of you, and God bless the state of Florida, and we will do some Q&A here. Michelle's going to join us. It's a big P.
Thanks for the question. One, that's why the Lieutenant Governor mentioned a strike team. We can't do it on our own. We have amazing law enforcement. In fact, a lot of them will be on the strike team. and a lot of them are dedicated towards cybercrime. But you do need experts like Perogi and others that'll help us to look outside of America and how we handle situations like that. So as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, it's not just about education awareness, that's the first piece, but we will go after these predators, both home and abroad. But we'll need experts for that help too.
You know, and just to compound and piggyback on what Michelle said, Secretary Branham, we have to do something. Guaranteed, if we do nothing, the scams continue. I believe it's $700 million a year, $800 million a year is lost every year in the state of Florida to senior citizens alone. Standing by and doing nothing isn't good enough anymore. We have to do something. We'll continue to evolve and grow. We're going to learn skills along the way. But ultimately, I want them to know that we are taking a stand along with them to make sure those people are found and apprehended any way we can within the legal construction of our government, of course. Next question. Ma'am? Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be a little bit harder, but they can sign up. We're going to try to do it too where they can receive. I wanted to make sure that they didn't get anything that was confusing. So the text alerts don't have any clickable things or anything like that. They're just flat alerts. But they can also go to a website. They can download things, and we'll have it in our newsletter as well and all over our social media. So hopefully not only them, but their adult children will find a way to connect with us too. But that's also another reason why we have seniors on the strike team. I want to hear from them. So if we're not getting to them, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, we need to continue to learn how to. Good question. Thank you.
No, and even more than that, there are other methods. When I do town halls or we're at events, we're going to continue to put this out there. And we're going to have to find ways to get the information to the senior citizens. But everybody has somebody. Look at this room. Look at the people, the bank tellers, the bank managers, the people who work here, the staff, your caregivers. We need to reach them. Because if people don't have the technology available right now, one of their loved ones, one of the people around them do. We have to make ourselves hard targets, and that's getting information to the people to make that effective. Okay? Anybody else? Well, I'll tell you what. You remember that movie? There was a movie in the 90s. You know, it was a pretty good movie. The key line was there can only be one, right? It was the Highlander. And there can only be one. Guys, it's very confusing. When a bill like that goes forward and you have multiple proposals, it confuses the legislature, it confuses the people on the ballot. Let's do one. But here's the other piece that I know. If we only aim for 15%, 20% reduction, sure, you'll probably hit it. It's easy. But last I checked, this is the United States. This is the state of Florida, and we don't back away from what's hard. Aim for what's at the top of the ladder. Aim for the precipice. Everybody I talk to believes in the American dream. Part of that American dream, that experience, is owning your own home and having it free and clear of the government. Getting rid of property tax on homesteaded properties, that's what our people want. And you know, I remind myself all the time, God gave us 2 ears and one mouth for a purpose. I'm listening to our people, as is Governor DeSantis, and we're trying to put that into play. Let's stop laying it up. Let's stop taking an easy single when we can go for everything and give our people what they need. But we're going to stand up and stand for our law enforcement, our education, and our roads. That's what we do. Governor DeSantis will roll out his proposal when he's ready and at the appropriate time, and those facts and details will be laid out, and happy to sit down. We'd love to do an interview and discuss that with you when the time comes. Sound good? All right, ma'am. Well, I was actually ramping up my campaign to be the executive of like a hair club for men, I thought. So, you know, I thought it was good, and we put it out there. Look, I'm very grateful for whatever group that was that put those out there. And here's the deal. This is a big decision to get involved in a gubernatorial race. It really is. I am really tired of politicians who pat themselves on the back and put their ego first. It's just not the way we need to do things. It's not about me, it's about we. I wanted to know that my family was stable, the area around us, our support structure was there, and they could go through something like this. But more than anything else is I've had the chance to travel the state as the Lieutenant Governor of Florida, I wanted to make sure that how I want to lead, how I approach things, this communicative, on the ground, in your face, getting things done approach is going to be good for the people of Florida. Because it's not about what's good for me, it's about what's good for our state. I get to be the Lieutenant Governor. I was blessed to be a Green Beret, but I'm a dad and a husband first and foremost, and we have to preserve and protect what we love here for that next generation, over and over and over again. We are in this short, final part of wrapping up our decision, and I'm very grateful for that group. It's very encouraging to see people believe in our message and our approach, and stay tuned. Anybody else? Thank you.